spectacular one-punch set of Manny Pacquiao's.
And you may hear it. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Guys, there's nothing like boxing, and there are no athletes like fighters.
Struggling to get to his feet. Makes another right. Or is in deep trouble again? Frazier down.
You know, you pay him a price, I guess, but the thing is, I've been enough.
What's going on, fight fans? I'm your boy Jay Cotto. Welcome to the Insight at the Boxing and Jedi's Temple.
No shit.
And just basically, we're gonna get into a topic. Some of your Twinkies are gonna swell. If you're those are the faint-hearted, do not join this live. I will be giving out links as soon as I break some shit down. So y'all be patient. Peace to everybody that's on the check-in. My man Anthony Manzano, Andre Rodriguez, and Gerson Medina. What's going on, my brothers? You know, this is a live that's gonna go out to all races. This is basically what's going on in the YTBC, and this needs to be talked about, aired out, and out of our way quickly. I do not want to make another live on this bullshit. I don't even want to speak on this subject anymore. But since it's a fresh, open fucking wound that keeps trying to close, these guys just trying to open shit up, you know. So let me start this off. Now you have Teofimo Lopez, who within the heated discussion or argument that he had with Devin Haney this past weekend at the Mikey Garcia fight, basically words were exchanged or whatever, and he used the street terminology nigga, which is Nigga. And just because he's Hispanic, now they're trying to make it seem like if he's the racist one using the Nigga. Most of us know, as we can see from the way he speaks, his diction, that he's from the street. Now, there is no argument when you come from basically the street and then you grow up and you tend to understand that the words that you used were basically Ebonics. The words that you used are basically street slang. The words that you used are just basic jargon for the street. Now, let me give you the definition of what a racist really means. Racist is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Okay? Now, of course, there are people on here, and of course, they've got a cult who are prejudiced, who are being very antagonistic, who actually go for people on a basis of their membership in a particular race or ethnic group, especially theirs, knowing that their group is minority as well as marginalized. So now that we got that out the way, we know what a racist is. The problem is what's going on, Electro Jet. The problem is a lot of people just seem to just look at the word nigga, Nigga, the same as nigger, Nigger. There are big differences there. Don't know if you caught my live earlier, but there were big differences here. Here's the difference. You have people talking about the word nigga, Nigga, and they're using it as well. But the backlash that they want to give the people that are using the word, they feel that when they use it, there should be no backlash, and it's right for them to use it because they're black. That alone, that statement alone, is racist in itself when these people try to, bring up that point. The same thing with calling somebody boy, the same thing calling somebody coon. And you notice that it's always its own race that's calling its own race something as to a racial epithet. Let me give you an example. You have black Americans calling other black Americans coon because they don't agree with what the fuck they're saying. See, all this fight the power shit, but yet we all know that it's fabricated. All this shit with white privilege, it's a whole bunch of poison. Now, of course, we had Teofimo Lopez who came out and said the word nigga. Way before him, we had Mike Tyson who used the word a lot. Way before him, we had Hector Camacho who said, yeah, Pernod Whitaker, the rest of those guys, the rest of those niggas, they could get it. Now, when Hector Macho Camacho, Mike Tyson, and everyone else that used the NIGGA, were they being racist? No, not at all. You see, when you're in the street, right? And I'm going to say this one more time. When you're in the street, we say, yo, what up, my nigga? Yo, that nigga real. Oh, look at this nigga. It's we're basically pointing out this person is a homie. This person is a. So basically, when you say this nigga stupid, it's more like what they use in California as dude, brodacious, right? It's the same thing. The problem here is that it's an Ebonic slang from people that came from the come up in a ghetto anywhere around the world, not just in the United States. You got to understand that this word should not offend anyone, especially if you know where it came from. This word should not offend anyone, and you shouldn't be trying to call people out if you use the fucking word yourself. So now, Teofimo, and I don't cape for him, because I think the shit that him and his father, what his father's doing to his career and everything else, I think that's fucked up. But that's on the boxing scene. But since they want to bring this bullshit up, I got to defend the kid. Because in no way, shape, or form did he call him a nigger with an ER at the end. There's no proof of that in what he's saying, especially if you know he comes from the street. See, what's funny is a lot of people, yeah, Tio come from the streets, but the moment he said that, the moment he used the NIGGA, we was saying, nigga, I'll fuck you up. People want to now act like they ain't ever see two white people in a confrontation saying what two black people or two Latinos would say to each other, right? Or nigga, I'll fuck you up. People want to act like this shit don't exist. People want to act like that word what wasn't permissible when they fucking use it. What's funny is that these are the same people that go as far as using the word and then going further and using another racial epithet, like, oh, you're a cool nigga. That's a double racial standard right there. Racist, should I say, standard right there. It's kind of fucking dumb when you walk around and you say you're calling other than motherfuckers nigga and you say it's permissible, but when somebody say it back to you, it's racist. It makes no motherfucking sense. Floyd Mayweather said it just to Jake Paul the other day, and Jake Paul is as white as fucking snow. When he took his hat, remember? I'll kill you, nigga. You don't know me, nigga. I'm a real nigga, and called himself that. So there is a difference here. And no matter how many of you fucking make-believe racists out there want to try to throw it into context or substance that it's what's that word? What's that word? Just like the pound for pound list. It's subjective. It's not subjective. What's up, Carlos Mendoza? Floyd 972. What's going on? Bruce Golds, what's going on? It's not subjective. Now, you won't catch some people saying the word because they feel that they've been backed into a corner like Eminem or any other white rapper, even though they grew up in the hood. Anybody that's not black can use it. Not even Latinos, but Latinos and blacks use it against each other in hoods that most of these motherfuckers that claim they're from the hood from, which they really not, because hood niggas don't even bother. That shit don't bother them. There's this Chinese underground rapper that he was forced out to bow out to stop using the N-word in his rhymes. But that's the problem. NIGGA is not NIGGER. It is not the N-word. It's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It's taken out of context and they weaponize it. They weaponize that fact, that meaning, in order for them to get over so they can make a fucking point. so they can make a fucking point, and it makes no sense whatsoever. And it's basically harming the boxing community. It's harming every community. It's even harming racial standards where you have people who basically have an even flow and a gift, especially when they come from the street, and all of a sudden it becomes to a point where it's like, oh man, I can't be using this word now. Fucking their whole style up. That's why I'm glad the old school guys, when they put out hits today, they still use the word. They don't give a shit, and neither should you. A motherfucker like myself, I'm educated. I don't give a fuck. I'm still using it when I'm comfortable and around my people. I'm gonna speak simple. I'll be like, yo, what up, nigga? Oh, this nigga stupid. Oh man, that's a funny nigga. So I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it the way I know myself. I'm not switching up for no fucking body because they got offended. And this is exactly what's going on with this cancel culture. Now women can't even wear fucking two-piece bikinis. Soon they're gonna have them all covered up, while they have fucking guys that are faggots to be out here in speedos. So the guys that are really men can't show off their bodies. Women that are really fucking women can't show off their bodies. But because of the agenda, you're going to allow other people to be like, okay, yeah, look, you can look at that body. Get the fuck out of here. Most of you motherfuckers out here in the political scale don't even know what the fuck you talking about. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm basically going to pass off the link. Whoever wants to join this, you're more than welcome to. We can talk boxing, you know what I mean? Which is great too. But we're gonna talk about all of this racial shit because, to tell you the truth, I'm fucking sick of it. I'm sick of a lot of people out here. A lot of people out here just weaponizing racism when they're not really real racist themselves. But now, when when you become the person you're trying to fight, also notice there is no there's no type of repercussion for them. They don't want any, no accountability, nothing. And that's what makes it unfair, especially in sports. I see you. I see you, Jay. Give me a second. Especially in sports. You can't have a look, you can't have a man be transition into a woman and put him in a woman's sport. You can't put a transgender in front of Playboy, in front of the Playboy cover. You just can't do that. But to them, it's okay. They want grown transitioning men to go to the same bathroom in schools, in department stores, anywhere you go with your daughters. So now with this racism, these guys want to be able to call you nigga, but in a heated argument, and because that's just the way you were grown to be, that's what you grew up to be. You can't even use the ebonics that you used in order to try to fucking fight the codes of the fucking law in the street that were always cracking down on motherfuckers without them fucking labeling you a racist. It's disgusting. It's very disgusting. The link is in the chat. Please join me and Electro Jed. Electro Jed, what's going on, brother?
What's up, my brother? How you doing today?
Oh, I'm okay, man. I'm just a bit pissed off because no matter how much no matter how much we try to get past this, no matter how much we try to enjoy the boxing, no matter how much we try to enjoy the call outs and the confrontations, you know what I mean? Without it getting violent, it's just a lot of, because that's what boxing is. It's a lot of shit talking until them contracts come through and you can sign them papers.
Right.
It's to a point that it's got me with a bit of anxiety now every time I'm picking up this fucking mic. You know what I mean? And I just want to air it out that Tiafimo is not a fucking racist. And we
No
need Devin
fucking way.
Haney.
No,
Right.
no.
And we need Devin Haney and his father to come out.
I'd
And,
like to know. I'd like to know exactly what point in history were Hispanics not allowed to use the N word. Now, mind you, I'm saying the N word just so everybody understands. Before I got married, before I met Katie, the N-word was part of my vocabulary, but because it made her uncomfortable, I slowed down on using it, and then I stopped using it altogether. The only times I use it is like, I mean, look, Jedi's heard me use the word. OG and Jedi and all of them heard me use the word, when I was slightly heated on something, when I was emotional about something. I know how I look, but I know where I grew up at, and I knew. I mean, I showed this before. That's my nephew. You gonna tell him he can't say it? God rest his soul. My brother's darker than him. You gonna tell him he can't say it? God rest his soul. I just stopped saying it, right? Because it was so long that I haven't said it that I am now uncomfortable saying it. It first started off because I was respecting my wife's wishes, and now I am uncomfortable saying it. And,
Right.
But I'm not afraid to say it. There's a difference.
Exactly.
So
And
when in history was it not allowed for, as far as my whole life, Hispanics were treated just as bad as blacks. I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican. You could basically say I'm Puerto Rican and black, because if you look at the average Dominican, what are they, Kodo?
exactly what you said. They're mixed with black. And what's funny is that the same guys that are trying to weaponize it want to claim that us Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and every other Latino is mixed race with black. Okay, so then in that case, in your logic, we have a right to say it as much as you do. The thing is that we know how to use it just like you do. Now, what's funny is that I'm Puerto Rican, Cherokee Indian. I've been called by the black community a coon. And I always tell them, bro, wrong race. Sorry, that you can't call me. Right? And then they get mad. Oh, you racist. No, 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 no. Hold on. Since a coon is a racist term. A coon means you're a sellout. A coon means that you want to be, you know what I'm saying, just like the black and white man. You alone calling someone a coon or anything like that makes you racist in itself, especially if you're calling your own kind one. So whatever the fuck you're trying to stand up for doesn't count. Am I right or wrong? Doesn't count at all. So
My thing with this whole thing, right? I got pissed off when I heard about it. This was a couple of days ago, right?
yeah,
After the Garcia fight, right? I'm like, the next day I saw something on YouTube. Teofimo racist. Okay. All right, let me say, well, he don't like white people like I used to not like white people. Is that it? I don't know, right? And they said, because he said the N-word. I said, wait, what? Are you fucking joking? Did you not see his complexion? Does that motherfucker look white to you? Does he look like he fucking plays a fucking a bagpipe?
and not only that, I mean, you can be white and grow up in the hood. You can be Chinese, grow up in the hood, and still use the N word.
You
My
know
whole
what?
thing,
I gotta say this, Kodo. I gotta say
yeah,
this.
yeah,
You better be from the hood. If you're
right.
gonna be, if you white or you Asian, you better be from my hood.
That's
To
right.
say that, I'm
That's
not gonna
right.
lie. I'm
That's
not.
right. That's right. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. There are a lot of minorities out there, a lot of minorities, right, that don't use the word, and I respect them, right? But yet there are some minorities as well that manage to make their way to wherever they made themselves to be at, and they like to look down on the other minorities. You know what I'm saying? That are like middle class or whatever, to actually just oh, you're racist. Oh yeah, but you grew up around it. And you pointing it out and turning it into this thing where you want to throw it now to the battlefield of racism makes you a person that's weaponizing it and guilty as well. Everybody, welcome Gersom Medina. What's going on, Gersom?
Yo, how
How you
y'all
doing, my
been?
friend? All right, pretty good. How you doing, my brother?
I've been blessed, happy, had a great weekend.
Mm.
Just chilling. That's my dog in the background if you hear him. Um, yeah, but when it comes to that stuff, I used to say it a lot simply because, like, how do I say it? Even though I grew up kind of middle class, but like, in terms of school and everybody like there, I was basically in that environment where so I was
Hood,
kind of
hood, hood environment. Hood environment.
like the hood and stuff like that, like people from that background a lot. So like they kind of got me into saying it, but now I don't say it because I don't know how people are going to react these days. So I just don't out of respect.
And you know what? And there's nothing wrong with it. That's okay.
No, I know, but I just now out of
Because
respect
you
for
don't
others,
say
I
it out
just
of respect. I don't say it out of because now I'm uncomfortable with it. I didn't say it because I was
exactly.
out of respect for my wife, who's white, mind you, and she just doesn't like to hear the word. But there's nothing wrong with what you just said. I mean, you were accepted saying it in a certain group of people, and that's okay.
Yeah,
Exactly.
There was no
And
repercussions. But
right,
if
and
you
look,
but you feel like if you say it in the wrong group of people, that might end up being tragic.
right.
exactly.
But my all right. First, Canelo Alvarez says everybody says the N word out here in Cali, and those are facts. I'm not even gonna fight that. But specifically, what is the wrong group of people? Because think about this now. Maybe the wrong group of people will be higher class people who grew up in gated communities, and when they hear that, they're mistaken. Where you're calling them the Nigger word instead of the Nigga word to me. But if you grew up in the hood and you got out, right, and you still have family members and friends that still speak this way, I don't think that they should be put in the category as the wrong group because that would be full of shit on them trying to correct her. Oh, you shouldn't be saying this. You should, but yet you come up from another, and you still talk hood, right? You still got the sassiness and all that bullshit. So you still haven't fully cleansed. So you can't tell nobody. No one can tell nobody where they came from. No one can tell nobody how to speak unless let's just say that N word got to go when you're in a job interview and upholding a fucking job, being professional. That's without a question.
When I
That's without a question.
let me clarify. When I say the wrong group of people, uh, let's say you're a white guy that grew up in the hood, all right, and then you got out of the hood and you moved up, and then you go into a different town and you're for whatever reason you're in the hood, all right. When I say the wrong group of people, you might catch you might catch some speed knots if you say it in the hood and you're the
Yep.
wrong color. It just might
Yep.
happen.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Like I said, I grew up with white people and Chinese people, Sri Lankan people, and I used to laugh because to hear them, you use the street terminology and they didn't even rap on it, but it's knowing that these are the same motherfuckers that were scrapping other motherfuckers on the block, the same niggas that smoked blunts and hit 40s with me and used to chill in staircases a long time ago. Like these are for me, they get a pass because they don't put head out. You know what I mean? And have actually went through the trials and tribulations that we went through. This
Right.
is why, and this is why I wouldn't have had a beef with Eminem putting nigga in his lyrics. I wouldn't have, and neither would his boys because they know this is the white dude. This is the white dude that grew up with us, and but he don't use it. He don't use that pass, and it's not even called a pass. There's no such thing as that. If a motherfucker grew up with you and he has this terminology and slang and then you called him the same word, why he can't say it back? So he's supposed to eat it. So let's just say, as us
That's
Latinos,
why that's
yeah,
why I
go ahead.
dislike it when people call him a culture vulture. That's just where he grew up in.
Right, exactly, 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 correct.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
This one, I like how they accuse Eminem of being a culture vulture. This motherfucker grew up there amongst a
And the freaking
bunch of other
Detroit.
brothers, a bunch of other fucking, people that were fucking indigent. They were fucking down and out. They were barely surviving. He was barely surviving, and he's a culture vulture. I don't get that one.
if
He
you
was
guys
a
want to go,
survivor.
if you guys want to go with culture vulture, you can go to Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now we're gonna talk racism within the sport. Floyd Mayweather Jr. came out and spoke about Jeremy Lin's fame, talking about that they don't talk about black men like that in the sport of basketball. He must be out of his fucking mind because you had Julius Erving, you had motherfucking Magic Johnson, you had Michael Jordan, you had Isaiah Thomas. I mean, there are so many other Kevin Durant. You know what I'm
Don't forget
saying?
the
Garnett.
Iceman. Don't
You know what
forget
I'm
the
saying?
Iceman.
All of them, bro, all of them. And there was nobody, basically giving props like they did with Jeremy Lin. Well, first of all, if he had any fucking education, he would understand that in the NBA for a Chinese player to make an impact like Jeremy Lin did, or fucking Yao Ming, whatever fuck his name is as well. Gotta understand these are Asian people that broke into the sport and they're putting up numbers out there like if they're us. That's something amazing. You have to look at it like, oh man, that's what's up. Now China's on map, no doubt. But no, then he also called Manny Pacquiao on some racist shit. Oh, cook my cats. Like, oh, Chinese people eat cats. And I'm highly offended at that because you know what I'm saying? I have Asian children. So it's like, it's fucking disgusting on how these people always try to weaponize stuff and use it the wrong fucking way. Floyd Mayweather went out and used all that shit, and now we can't get rid of it because it was forgotten about. Bernard Hopkins tried to bring that up with Jim Gray a long time ago, and that shit didn't even work. It didn't even linger. Oh, they don't give a black man a chance. Meanwhile, this motherfucker got all the belts. Fuck are you talking about? So this
Not
is
only
what I'm
that, but
saying.
he says, I don't know if I'm probably paraphrasing, but he's like, no one can beat the black race or the black style. It's just like, oh, so
He said, yeah. He said that, Gershom. He also said, "I'll never let a white boy beat me."
that was
That
Devin
was
Haney.
no. It originally came from Bernard Hopkins, brother.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
he said that as well. First, he said that I'll never let a white boy beat me, and then he came out with the rest of what you said, added on to that. So it's like when he said that, nobody flipped out. Nobody said, "Oh my God, he's racist," because he said, "I'll never let a white boy beat me." Oh, he's segregating. Oh, look at that. No, everybody was like, "Oh shit, he feels oppressed." No doubt, there's a ring for that. Now all of a sudden, because these two are confronting each other, and they're like, "Nigga, I'll beat your ass." Tiafimo, who's I don't know what I think what is it, San Salvadorian or something like that. I don't know, Honduras, right? He's Honduran. So he grew up in the hood, and because he's Honduras, he can't say that bullshit. No. Especially if you grew up around people that we used to call you that, to the point that you come out and you address yourself and recognize yourself as a real nigga, or I'm that nigga, right? Right? Exactly. So what's the problem here? The problem here is called weaponization of racism. This is what they do. They're doing it in the sport of boxing. Now all of a sudden they want to, man, listen, boxing has been through so many fucking fights of racisms, bro, from Jerry Cooney, even before that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we could keep going with this bullshit. People just need to understand where you come from, where it's placed in a conversation. And if the person that said it in the conversation, look at their background. And if their background matches exactly the if you want to call it filth or gutter talk, if they grew up in that life, you have no right basically judging these people. That slang is always going to be there. How come nobody tried to correct Jay-Z, not even Oprah, when Oprah was like, "Oh, but the N-word." He was like, "Bro, you shouldn't even consider that the N-word with the GGER at the end." Because that, and he said it himself, even Big L said it on his album, Ebonics, bro. Like, it's Ebonics. It's slang, it's jargon. It's shit that people use to communicate to get, so the law or anybody of higher fucking authority would know what the fuck we're talking about. Every slave within history had their own terminology, jargon, ebonic. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And for people to come out blatantly just to weaponize it so they can be right or they can get hits and they can do this and they can do that to actually ruin something, they're fucking stupid. It's dumb. And not only that, it's harming all races. Even your own, if you're out here fucking pumping your fist on some, oh, we got to fight the power. But yet, if somebody don't agree with you, here comes a racial epithet towards the person. Oh, boy, you're a coon. Really? So basically, nobody could fucking have their own thought and opinion then at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic how they're using race as an excuse for everything.
And I want to ask you gentlemen a question, right? I want to ask you gentlemen a question. How many times in your lifetime chilling with your peoples or going around the hood and introducing yourself to other people, if you can remember that far back, right, guys? How many times you were addressed as, "This is my nigga"? Know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. Yo, this is my nigga, blah, blah, blah. Say, "What's up? Hey, what up, nigga?" How many times have you been addressed as nigga? Nigga.
Dude, before I turned 40, it was every neighborhood. 40 was the age, no lie, no lie. 40 was the age that I met. I know actually 41 was the age I met Katie at. So before 40, that's all I knew, man. That's all I knew. I mean, people would introduce, "Yo, this is mine," and they say, "Oh, yo, what's up, mine?" And then that's how it was. I didn't know anything else. I was educated. I am educated. I went to University of New Mexico. I took I did, dude. I'm educated, but being a homie, being down, there's a difference, man. That's how it is. It doesn't matter really if you're with a set of people, and that's how it is. That's just how it is. No matter what color they are in their group. Now
No doubt.
we had white guys. We had there were black guys, white guys, and mixed people of color like me,
Yeah.
all in this group, and we called each other that all the time.
All the
Nobody was
time. Exactly. Everybody welcome Sly Tendencies. What's going on, Sly?
What up?
What up, man?
What's
How y'all
going on,
doing?
brother? We're good, brother. We're good, man. Give us your insight on this, my brother.
Man, it's a couple of things, but I'm white first off, and I say that because like even though yes I'm white, I grew up in one of the hood I grew up in. My mom was she had 4 kids from the same dude, and he abandoned her and wound up going to prison, and we got put in a it was before Section 8, but it was like it had the highest crime rate its entire existence,
Right.
and they wound up just bulldozing it to the ground. And my uncle got killed out there trying to buy crack. Like I can go down the list. And when I was 7 years old, I was playing hide and seek, and I said adios in the Spanish way, and I got knotted up real bad, and I got real scared. Obviously, it was like we was the only white kids in the whole neighborhood, and I learned, like I got real, like part of me was upset, and as I got older, I think you kind of develop like thought habits when you see things that happen in society, and it's a black person. Every time a crime happens on TV, it's a black person. It's this,
Right.
and then I got a little bit older, and I went to college and shit, and I kind of learned that there's a lot of baggage and with the word itself. And the thing I learned from you today is that, and I learned Punch was talking about it too. I don't know if you know about Punch Drunk Boxing. I'm sure. Yeah, you know Punch.
Oh yeah.
But Punch kind of said something too, because they were talking about Tio, and he just hit the nail on the head. He said, honestly, we shouldn't even say the word. Nobody should say the word, because it doesn't do anybody it does a disservice to everybody. Like the people that are saying it for like brotherly love and all that shit, if you look at where the word actually came from and what it meant, it doesn't make any sense. And, I can see how people, my ancestors were black, so I can say it, but, my ancestors, my great-great-grandfather was full-blooded Choctaw Indian, but I don't go around, fucking wearing a headdress. So,
Right.
I don't understand it. I don't understand why people. I really think this whole Tio situation, though, man, this is just people. They need a new reason. They need a new boogeyman to hate now that Wilder lost. So now they gotta have another. They gotta make a martyr out of somebody else, and they're looking for every little thing they can do. He's ducking this. He's doing that. He said the N word, and it's stupid, man. There's so many more things. Like let's start something to get them to fight. Let's not pretend something's freaking, it's always got to be some other shit.
Right. And you know what I'm saying, my brother Sly, you know what I'm asking for? I'm asking for Devin Haney, Senior and Junior, to step up and actually talk this out, right, with their with whatever following that they have, because it's coming from their side, to actually come out and say, listen, bro, ain't nothing wrong with Teofimo saying it, because if they look closely on the tape, Haney Senior said nigga, right? And so did Lopez Senior. So everybody was on some, you know what I'm saying? Yo, nigga, this, yo, nigga, that. So it's like, it's senseless, because you'll attack one side saying it, but you won't attack the other side. So right then and there, it should show us that it's weaponized. It's a setup plan, as to what you said as well, Sly, that they're looking for a new fucking boogeyman. Yes, they are. They want to pick on something, and it's always excuses. Excuses to certain points, and it's disgusting. But this is what the Haneys need to do. They need to come up and clean this shit up.
Yeah, the Haneys, people need to understand too with Bill, like everybody thinks it's great that Bill, he goes on all these channels, he goes on small channels. The reason that all these people are jumping on the bandwagon is because they're afraid that if they criticize him or Devin, they're going to lose that access. And that's exactly what the main problem is with journalism today. It's all access journalism. Oh, I can't say this about this guy because then I'll lose this. And instead of like, let's just be honest. Like, let's be fair, and let's just have an honest discussion about it for once. Instead of there's some people, oh, he might have ducked this and he might have ducked that, and it's just so stupid that people are. I hate to say it, but this is the kind of shit that sells. It gets everybody, everybody's got the tribalism gets I'm picking a side, and it works. Unfortunately, it's a lot easier to make people hate each other than to love each other.
Yep. My whole issue with the whole thing is that, like I said earlier, since when was it in history was it not allowed for Hispanics? But what my brother here said earlier, if you're going to take away the word, then take it away from everybody. Is that going to happen? Hell no. Because people need to understand minorities, especially, Black Americans, they took it and made it their own. They took it from something negative and they made it their own. They made it part of their Ebonics. They're the reason why it's called Ebonics. They made it their own. So I don't think culturally it's ever going to leave the hood or leave.
Gonna get rid of.
It's never going to leave the Black community because it has such a varying meaning. Where it came from is one thing. What it is now is something completely different.
Right. And let me give you a little history on Ebonics, exactly where it came from. Ebonics is American Black English, regarded as a language in its own right rather than as a direct of standard English. Okay? So basically it's jargon, it's slang, you know what I mean? And certain groups of people that have been raised like Slide Counter says, everyone that's been raised in an urban area or city, we all identify with each other as a nigga, Nigga. It's used in a lot of positive ways at certain points. You know what I'm saying? My man, hold on, I want to see. All right, Mexican Native says, let's not entertain their bullshit. After the Wilder bullshit, false Fury accusations, they have no credibility now. They call everyone a racist and a queen. And that is somebody turn me down. Somebody turn me down in their background. My bad. Go ahead, bro.
Oh no, I just think if you disagree with anything they say, they're just gonna call you racist flat out.
And that's how it is, man. You disagree with any group, automatically you are going to get. There was a word I was trying to show you earlier when before you gave the link out, Kodo, and it's heterosexual phobia. It's heterophobia. You know how there's homophobics? Now there's heterophobics. And it's like since right now, the LGBTQ community has got this momentum. There seems to be like a phobia against heterosexuals now, and making us it seems that way. But you know what the problem is? It's only a select few. It's not the entire LGBT community. It's a select few that makes big noise. Just like what's going on here, where what happened with Tio Pima. It's a select few. It's not everybody. It's a select few that's trying to make more out of something than what it is. And the more focused we get on it, the more we feed into it. What we're doing right now, I don't consider feeding into it. I want to expose this. I want to expose it for the bullshit it is.
It's just a discussion.
Because I don't want that movement getting any kind of momentum.
That's right.
Timo is not a racist. He's not my favorite boxer, but I'm not going to sit there and say he's a racist because he said the N-word.
Right. Exactly.
There's some bullshit there.
This is why some people have to accept that if you come from a rough and tough background and grew up with Black Americans, Puerto Rican Americans, I mean, if you grew up with minority and you've been called that yourself, it's like a habit. It's like mannerisms. It's gonna rub off on you no matter what race you are, especially if you're surrounded by other ethnicities calling themselves that, right? This is what the hip hop culture was about, right? All of a sudden, the hip hop culture, of course, sold out, and now they want to get rid of the word nigga, but they won't get rid of the graphic content that has to do with women, right? That are out there, like fucking that dumb fucking chick that what is it, Cardi B, the fucking Lizzo, all this body shaming, all this they don't want to stop that, knowing that it's gonna harm our little girls as they grow up. Being fucking thoughts like that and fucking stupid bitches, they don't want to fucking stop in the fucking video where they're fucking having shootouts and gang, you know what I'm saying, and gangs going against each other and drugs all over the table and thinking that the gang life is. They don't want to talk about any of that. They want to talk about, a white cop fucking killed a black man, but they don't want to talk about black on black crime, Puerto Rican on Puerto Rican crime, Chinese on Chinese crime, white on white crimes. Because if you take a good look at this fucking statistic, there are more white people killing themselves than white people killing black people. You know what I'm saying? There are more black people killing each other more than fucking white people or Puerto Ricans killing them. It goes vice versa, bro. It's all about doing research and staying focused. And a lot of people just don't do that. Why? Because these elites that become infiltrators of our entertainment, our movies, everything. The first thing they do is they program. And they use the sellouts. Everybody welcome Ross Clot 222. What's going on, my bro?
What up? Too long of a name for me.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all?
Chilling, man. We just talking about this this little narrative going around now that because Teofimo, and we know he's from the hood, from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? From Sunset Park. You know, just because he said while he was talking to Devin Haney, and so did his father, and so did Devin Haney's father, used the word nigga in a street term. Now these guys are trying to weaponize it as racist, and we're over here saying Teo's not a racist because he said that. You know what I mean? You want to give your insight, my bro?
I got to go back to work, guys. I gotta go back to work.
I wanted to respond to this guy right here.
Yeah. No doubt, Sly. Go ahead. Do your thing.
On to Slide.
All right, thanks. Go ahead, Ross Clot. He's still listening.
I hope he stays on. Yeah. No, what I was going to say, he's not a racist. Like, Teofimo Lopez not a racist for using that word. But I personally don't use that word. But when I looked at this comment right here that Lied had wrote, when he said Hector Camacho uses it in his post fight. What I don't like is when other races use the N-word when they're upset and they're fighting another black person, and then they decide to want to use the N-word. When you using the N-word when you upset, when you using the N-word against a person that's black, and it's no longer in the terms of endearment, right? Now you upset. So that's why I said people should just eliminate that word, period, in my opinion. Right. But if people want to say it, they can say it. I just don't like the fact that it's a lot of people that's not black that use that word, and then they also use it when they're upset at a person that's black.
All right, now
he's no longer your nigga.
Now, what about Haney Senior using the terminology towards Senior and the rest of them?
And okay. That goes still back to what I was saying. I don't think anyone should use it, but the rule for that N-word has always been a black person always has the right to say it, no matter what circumstances. That's always been the rule since that word has started. But in this new generation, I personally feel like no one should use it because it's never been a good word to begin with. So that's why me personally use it. But like I said, if people want to use it, that's fine. My thing is, when other races use it, a lot of the times they're using it when they're upset at that black person, and now they're using it more and more. Oh, nigga this, nigga that, nigga this, nigga that.
I feel you. I feel so.
That's no longer a word of endearment. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Because it's like if me and you have an argument, and on a regular term where we're talking, I don't be like my nigga, or yeah nigga, or nothing like that. You would understand. But now if me and you have a heated argument, and I'm like, nigga, shut the fuck up, you're gonna take it as, hold up, you wasn't talking to me or use that word. You know what I'm saying? When we was calm and just having a conversation. Now you're saying it out of anger. Hold on, and I can understand that perspective very much, especially if you're, if you're a person of color. You know what I'm saying? If you're a Black American, I could definitely understand that. No doubt. No fucking doubt. No
Yeah,
doubt.
but at the end of the day, that to me, that word isn't even that important anymore. So if anybody want to use it, they could go ahead and it's to me, it's a bigger vocabulary in this world other than the N word. So
Right.
if people
Right.
want to use it, it's fine. So
I feel
it's
you. I
nothing.
feel you.
To me, it's
I
nothing.
I'm of the mindset of like this, because I see a lot of TikTok videos and I see a lot of fucking people saying, "Well, I should be able to say the word whenever I want to, whoever I want." I said, my mindset is sure, go ahead, but you face the consequences if you say it in the wrong context in the wrong crowd. That's going to be your own fault.
Right. Right.
That's how I feel about it, because I'm tired of I'm tired of the argument that, well, just because I'm white I can't say the word. I said, well, you know what? Say it then.
Exactly.
Say
Exactly.
it. If
Everybody.
you want to say it, say it. But be wary
No,
of the consequences.
no doubt. No doubt. Everybody, welcome Tony M onto the panel. What's up, Tony M? How you doing?
What's up,
Hi
Tony?
guys. I have a question. You guys are talking about the N word. Do you think?
Yes, sir.
Do you guys think rap music should start filtering out that word? Do you think that's why it's culturally appropriate for uh the Black community to use it, because of the fact that rap music uses the word constantly in their music, saying the N word every other word?
Well,
It's
well,
becoming a lot of
look, hold on. I'm gonna grab it first, and then I'm gonna pass it down the panel. All right, look, this is what I was talking about: weaponization of racism when it comes to these corporations and these elites, right? They have an agenda. If they'll build something up, and then they'll collapse it. And the first thing they do is they love to placate to the emotions of slavery and stuff to us minority. They always do that shit because every minority they have been slaves. I think that the music, it's not only black, because remember the hip hop music was made by all cultures of minority. All right, it was born in the Bronx, New York, the boogie down Bronx. Okay, transcended from Queens, and then it went on to the Midwest, and then it went on to the West. Right, so it's like all the glamorization of women in their thongs and shit, and calling themselves, "I'm this bitch, I'm that slut, here's my pussy," ta ta ta. Right, like this modern day Cardi B chick and Lizzo and the rest of these dummies. Right, and then you've got the guys that are glorifying you could shoot a dude over a motherfucking kilo, or putting drugs on the table and thinking that every rap video has to have like 20 motherfuckers behind you and some cars and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then the car started bouncing up and down. Yeah, this is graphic content. This is graphic content, and it's not only black music, it's minority music, and it was made for us. This is why people on the outside don't understand it. People on the inside, like Ross Clap, myself, Electro Jed,
No,
Gershon. No, I'm just saying. I'm just breaking it down to you. We're sort of tired of it when our own people sell out and they continue to do it. They continue to push the agenda. They continue to push that angle. You know what I'm saying? To the point that it's hurting us. You know, it takes a mountain. It takes many people. You know what I'm saying, to build a mountain. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about an artificial mountain, enough to have foundation. And sometimes it won't have a foundation because it's not a natural growth. It's not a natural flow. When hip hop first came out, all the way to the late 80s, it was a natural flow. It was what was brought into the culture, and it was supposed to stay like that. But since a lot of guys sold out and they went under agendas, there was like a rap summit that happened where they were trying to tell rappers, yo, push this agenda, push that agenda. Some of them went with it, some of them broke the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? This is why they got rid of all of the alpha males that kept us alive, like Tupac, Eazy-E, Biggie. You know what I'm saying? What was his name? Pimp C. I mean, all these guys that would talk about homosexuality and rap, it don't belong. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
Oh,
don't
you
forget
know,
Big Pun. Shit.
yeah, no, yeah, but Big Pun didn't really advocate for that. He was just, you know what I'm saying? He was a great Latin artist. He did his multi-platinum
Yeah.
stuff, but he didn't have. I'm talking about the guys that were out here. Look at KRS-One, right? With the Stop the Violence movement in the late 80s, early 90s. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction, right? Hip hop had a militant mind. You had X-Clan, you had Public Enemy talk about the system, going against the system. Don't let the system break into our music. Don't let the system pimp out our brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? Especially but what happened? Guys sold out and they pushed the agenda to the point now that everybody thinks it's cool for everybody to be called this or be called that. And this is why rap music right now it's like legendary. It was about lyrics. Now it's not about lyrics. It's more graphic content now instead of audio content, right? Instead of
Yeah.
audio, everything's graphic now. Everything's guns, bitches with their ass showing. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers getting clipped because, oh,
Right.
you a snitch or da. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's funny. He's not dead, but Eminem has experienced that backlash as well. Like, he's a traditional hip hop artist where he cares about the lyrics. He's not caring about all that other stuff. He cares more about he didn't sell out, but you'll understand what I'm saying. He's a
Yeah,
traditional hip hop artist,
right.
but there's certain people in the hip hop community that feel like he's cultural appropriating. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, in a way. Raska, you want to give us your 2 cents on, the message that,
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I was next.
No, go ahead.
Wait,
Go ahead.
hold on. I'm going
Go
down
ahead.
the panel. because Raska just got on. So, give him a full
Okay,
blow.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be fucking.
No,
Go ahead.
what I was no real quick. What I was gonna say was in terms of that word, we're the only people that uses that word and say it to each other and they're happy about it or upset about it. But you never hear any other racial. You won't hear a Chinese person call each other a Chinaman. You won't hear a Mexican call each other wetbacks. You won't hear Indian call each other sand niggas. No, they don't do that because it's a derogatory term. So the N word. So those people like those LGBT who's mad at other people using the N word and any other black person mad at using the N word. That's our fault for allowing that word to be spread across the world. So now you can't be mad at anyone using it because it was always said, what you're saying is a word of endearment. So because y'all kept saying, and now everyone said, it's just like the great lyric that KRS once said. You got white boys calling themselves niggas. The tables turn as the crosses burn. Remember, you must learn. So that's our fault. So can't be mad if everybody want to use the N word. What you gonna do? Check every single person that's using the N word? No, you can't.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so for still female using that word, it don't fucking matter if you use that word. Everybody uses that word. It is what it is. They just want to try to find an excuse to call like y'all said, to call somebody racist. You feel me? It's really
Right.
silly if you ask me. Like I said, for me, I don't use it. But if other people want to use it, that shit don't offend me. Go ahead.
No doubt. All right,
Be my guest.
Electro, go
I just don't use it.
No doubt, bro. You're absolutely correct, man. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's opinion laced, should I say, with facts. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's speaking of facts here. Go ahead, Electro. Let us know, brother. Give us your insight.
This is direct answer to Homeboy's original question. I can't remember his name. Anyway, you were saying, is it possible or should that word be removed from rap? Because it's such an integral part of the culture, I don't think it's going to happen. If it was possible, yeah. I'd say remove the word and have the word stricken from history, but that's not going to happen. So because we know that's not going to happen, there's going to be some ramifications behind the use of the word. Plain and simple. There's plenty of times I've had conversations with people, and you know the way I look. You know that if you just at a glance, you might assume I'm a white boy. And I've been in this situation plenty of times where I'll be in a bar and I'm amongst white people, and all of a sudden that word comes out in a very derogatory manner, knowing with the hard ER, and we know who the hell they're talking about. And then when the conversation comes to me, they'll see a scowl on my face, and then I'll let them know, yeah, I'm Puerto Rican and black. You want to exactly explain what you meant by this word, and how you meant, because I'll put a motherfucker in check real quick.
No doubt.
Now that I'm older and decrepit, I can't do that, so I'll just shoot somebody.
No, no, I feel you. I feel you. All right, girl. So how
But
you feel? Oh, my bad. I thought you
no,
done.
but the only way it's going to be the only way that that word would be insignificant is that if it was removed altogether. Is that going to happen? No. So now it's word. Now it's a word of consequence.
Right.
You say it,
It's funny
there's going
you
to be
bring that
consequences.
Puerto Rican and black, but there's certain parts of like certain Spanish speaking countries. For example, I'm going to bring up the Dominicans. They're racist towards black. Like it's weird. They don't like Haitians. And they refuse to admit that they're black and stuff like that. So do Cubans. So there's certain countries that have a racial. They're self-loathing to their own race, in a sense. So it's hard for them to admit. So that's what I'm wondering. Do you think it's easier for you being? Do you think it's a generational thing, in a sense? Do you guys think it's a generational thing?
Of course it
How
is. Of course,
accepted
yeah.
it is?
I feel it's a generational thing because look, if you take a good look at our great grandparents and our grandparents, not our mother and fathers, our grandparents, on up from there, right? They were racist. I'm sorry, but your grandmother, my grandma, everybody's grandmother grew up around racist around those times, right? And some of them broke free of those chains, teaching our parents not to be racist, as to our parents showing us not to be racist as well. But their parents, our grandparents' parents, our great great grandparents, they grew up at that time where it was like, yo, this one don't mix with that one. You know what I'm saying? This race don't mix with that race. And that was where every fucking race, to the point that Jewish people still hold that standard, right? They outcast you if you mix races. Chinese people, especially. Japanese people, especially. I mean, you have certain races that still go around that, right? Now, is it smart to say that the reason why they're so successful is because they segregated themselves? No, not at all. Because everybody looks upon them as being racist in that way. Because my money's good enough for you. My conversation is good enough for you. But if your daughter falls in love with me, or my son falls in love with with my daughter or something like that, there's something wrong with that. Really? So then you cannot speak on love. You cannot speak on unity if you don't believe in two people, two humans, no matter what culture, creed, or color they are, falling in love. The hypocrisy's going on now, where you got so-called, and I used to have this black. Everybody's had a black militant friends. If you grew up in the '80s, that was real fucking militant. Talk about the black man and whitey this and the white devil that, but then behind your back, behind everybody, behind closed doors, they were fucking a white chick. They were fucking out of their race, right? Right? To the point that they got fucking, you know what I'm saying, biracial children. So it's a hypocrisy, really, by and standards set by people that are full of shit. And just like Ross Cloud was saying, just like everybody else on this panel saying, and everybody in the chat, you know what I'm saying? Especially Mexico Native. Mexico Native is coming with the heat, baby, and I love it. What he said was, he was like, cultural appropriation is not real. How can it be? Exactly. If it were a melting pot, we give we all give, take, and share from each other. Exactly. Number one. Number two. Let's do the science here. If intermixing within races was so against the rules in life, especially in nature, why is it that we can have interracial babies? Why is it we can have that? If that was not permitted, like males, or females having sex with dogs or other animals, they biologically cannot have half man, half dog, half man, half horse. That shit cannot happen. It can't. Virtually impossible.
Did you hear about
Once
the
you
pig
get
human hybrid?
Yeah, but that right there is how do you say,
Disgusting.
no, you're tampering, you're genetically manipulating shit. You know what I mean? I'm talking about nature, its course. If it was against that, bro, everybody would be sick. Everybody would be sick. And to this point that people don't understand, especially the black Americans, the Puerto Ricans, the Chinese, everybody amongst ourselves in the minority don't understand that we are all mixed. There is not one pure blood out there. Even in Europe, even in Asia, we are all fucking mixed. Why do you think they came out with this fucking family tree shit and everything else about DNA. And people have, what? I'm half Yugoslavian. How the fuck is that though? I was born. My parents were born in the Bronx. Before that, nobody knows the real story. Before you, before your grandparents, before your great grandparents, before your great great grandparents, and so on and so forth. So it's like doing the investigation, coming to find out that you have traces of DNA of other cultures. How many of us minority found out that we have white in us? How many whites found out that they have either Native American or Black American in them, or African American? Look at Africa. They got white Africans over there.
Yeah, and Jedi.
Yeah.
What you just talked about was actually. Do you think having all these DNA things is helping people realize that racism is an outdated form of thinking? Like having these DNA ancestry.com, these DNA websites like ancestry.com is actually helping filter out racism to a point.
Yeah, but definitely. And also, we also got to take a look at this, right? We got to take a look at this. We have, if you look at the demographic, right? We have right now what's going on today where they're, the white privilege. I think it's a shame that white people are actually eating this shit up and thinking that them denouncing their race, right? And if they even have ancestors that were part of slavery, because not only if we're gonna go there, if you guys are gonna go there, right, white privileged people that are feeling shamed for no reason, if you're gonna go there, then you understand that your ancestors as well were there for slaving the Puerto Ricans, every Indian race. So what about us? But since it's an agenda, it's only the black culture because the black vote. Understand? Everything is weaponized, bro. Everybody that was a black boxing fan denounced Floyd Mayweather Jr. the moment he says all lives matter.
Yeah, and when I look at this whole situation, honestly, I think I'm a millennial, and I think it's helping that it's filtering out racism, that we're being more inclusive. You see a lot of people. It's more okay now to be mixed race,
right?
Being in a mixed race relationship. Back when you guys were younger, was that okay? See, it's a serious question. Was it okay to have a mixed race relationship when you guys were younger, like in the 80s and 90s?
Fellas, anybody want to answer that?
Yeah, I get. Oh, who? You want to go first, Ross?
Gershom? Yeah.
I didn't get to answer my question. My answer. I didn't get to display my answer on the previous question.
Oh, go ahead then. Go ahead.
I'll tell you this much. The solution to this is people, at least on the media, showing the concept of understanding and context. Because oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought. Because when people say, "Oh, what's up, my nigga," and stuff like that, like to Hispanics and blacks and stuff like that, like people are going to see, now that they know I came from a middle class background, it's like, "Oh, you can't say stuff, bro." To the schools I went to, and most churches and stuff like that, most of the environment aside from my neighborhood, bro, it was pretty much that. And
right.
Oh, I lost my train of thought again.
No, it's all good, brother. Go ahead.
And the thing is, it's just like, bro, shut up if you don't know about their background or where they came from. Now, if they're saying it for clout, I don't like that. If you're saying it to be disrespectful, like how you mentioned earlier, some other races will say it when they're in a negative mood. Yeah. That's not cool either.
Right.
But if you say like either way, or if that's just where you came up, or they allow you to say it, or if you naturally say it by accident and the people around you are cool with it, then fine. But you gotta know your people and your environment.
Exactly. Go ahead, brother. Hey, Paul Casting. What's going on, my brother? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome. Go ahead, brother.
My thing, you say, as far as intermixing races back in the 80s, it was for the most part it was more frowned upon back then than it is now. I was born in the 60s, and in the 70s it was looked upon even worse then. So intermixing races in the 80s was frowned upon, but not as much as in the 70s, definitely not as much as in the 60s, and before that, even worse. That being the case, though, there's so much intermixing and interbreeding between the different races that they need to let go of some of these prejudices and some of these bigoted ways and move forward. But you have those few, and mind you, it's just a select few that make the most noise, that people hear the most. And you as an individual have to decide whether you're going to let that affect you or not. If you're going to let them push that agenda on you, then that's on you, and that puts you just as guilty as them. So don't fall for it. You know, like I said, I made my decision not to use the N word for one reason, and now I'm uncomfortable saying it. I don't use the word. I'll use the word when I'm angry, when I'm obviously angry, not at a particular person, but when I'm angry. You know, and even then, I curb myself from saying it. Then it's up to the individual. You know, how are they going to pursue this, or how are they going to respond to this? And that's all I gotta say on it.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks for your insight, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's there. This is a word that people, basically, and I'm not even gonna lie. Look, I'm not even gonna lie. All right. Just like I can put another word to replace lie, right, with Ebonics. I can't even front. I can't even front, right? I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna stunt. So on and so forth, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. That this word is always going to stay with the people from the street, okay, especially the uneducated. Let's be real. There are many, in our race, or races, should I say that, are like that. Everything as to racial, anything, a racial agenda is being pushed on white, black, Hispanic, Asian, everything. And now they're trying to bring it to the point that, you know, the mixed racing is a no-no now all of a sudden. Why? Because they want to have white bathrooms again and black bathrooms. So we're Jim Crowing this whole shit again. Is that what we're doing? If you take a good look at the spectrum, right, from the 70s all the way to, let's say, 2012, because that's where everything fucked up, right? And then it was okay, and then it fucked up again this year. It came back, right, even harder. You got to understand that we had moved on as human beings. Things were being brushed out. People were accepting each other. There are many multiracial relationships out there that show you this, that show me, you, everyone else out there. It shows all of us this.
Yeah,
So, this is just a game that's being, pushed by evil people that's actually going to make you see things to a point where their agenda, which is very evil. Yes, Khalil, the man of steel. What's up, my brother? You know what I'm saying? It's very evil, and this is what they're trying to tear down. They're trying to tear down the moral fiber of the utmost. You know what I'm saying? Our leader, our father, right? For everybody who was born under him to be together in unison. And what does Satan do? He does the opposite of that and wants to break everything up. So this is what happens, bro. Everybody's dealing with a person that just don't know how to fucking be in their life. Everybody's dealing with a person that just has no fucking moral fiber. Everybody's dealing with a person that tries to bring shit to your table when you don't really fucking want it. Some of us are in situations where we help, other people and shit, but it's just some of them go through things and they don't want to change, right? We all go through this shit. As human beings, we all go through this shit. But you're not considered a human being just yet until you've conquered that. You know what I mean? And of course, there are the placaters and shit that placate to the person that's really wrong. This happens all the time. This is what's happening now. As we speak, right now, somebody is defending somebody that was wrong. It didn't only start with lawyers. You know what I'm saying? At least the lawyers have a way out and a scapegoat, an excuse to say, well, that's my job to defend the guilty. What about people bearing false witness to thy brother? Right? What about that real law? and which we're going to be charged for later on in life when we're past, when we got to meet the maker, right? So it's like, people have to understand, no matter what faith you're in or believe in, you have an ultimate date with your maker, no matter what religion. So when I say this, I'm not only speaking on my terms of my God. I'm talking about every other religion out there. You're gonna go through a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, and to me, it what sickens me sometimes is when uh when you hear some of these people say go back to, like, when you hear some of these people who tell these naturalized citizens that are Mexican or Hispanic to go back to where they came from, to the point where they don't realize that their family were immigrants and they were being said the same thing. Like Irish people had that
Yeah,
issue in the 20s, in the 1800s. No one would hire them. So I don't know what the problem is with these people. Do you think that it's just that the educational system is I can't believe I'm using the term whitewashing the history books and stuff like that, to where it's rewriting history to the point where people are believing certain things.
repeat the last part again.
Do you guys think what's happening now is a lack of education because the educational system, depending on what state you are, they rewrite the history books to the point where it says certain people, they refuse to admit that they always say there was no one here before the settlers and stuff like that, and and they refuse to admit that there was the Native American Indians here, the Native Indians and stuff like that, from like all these Indians and stuff. And and do you think that's a problem too, like that depending on what state you're in, that they completely rewrite the history books to the point where you're not you don't know what is true or not?
Yeah, I mean they're rewriting the shit as we speak now on everything, man. On everything. Look what they've done to statues and monuments. They're trying to erase history. I think there's a cycle that these elites that have been around for a very long time have been doing to destroy the truth. You know what I'm saying? They've just been hiding it from us. So they're gonna try to redesign shit and try to brainwash everyone into believing, oh, this is really history. I mean, look what's going on now. Yeah, they're definitely rewriting shit. They're trying
Yeah,
to reset the Great Reset, supposedly.
yeah, yeah. Which makes me mad when people have the nerve to say, like, when you hear some of these racist people say that, like, specifically of like these KKK people that you see on like Fox News or something like that they bring on TV sometimes, that say these people should go back to where they came from, not realizing the fact that their ancestors were immigrants and they were being persecuted too. Like Germans were being persecuted when they first got and
Bro,
stuff. So,
everybody was a slave at a certain point, bro. Every race out there, okay? And people forget that it's our own race that sells us out before any other race, right? It's hard to swallow for some Black Americans that, you know what I'm saying? Their own race, sold them. Same thing with the Puerto Ricans. The same thing with the French. I mean, everybody has been a fucking slave. The only thing is that these Democrats that got into office once the power started rising, they started trying to rewrite shit and trying to say, "Oh, it was the Vikings. Oh, these white Nordic people. Oh," and it's fucking disgusting. It's dumb. It's dumb. And even to this day, just like my man, what's up, Jeremy Duncan? What's going on, brother? Just like what he says, everyone is a slave to the wages now. It's a different way. We're all being slaved out. We're all on the same fucking boat here. Like we're
Brainwashed
all, yeah.
or attempted to be brainwashed.
Right, exactly, and people. Oh, they've programmed people to blame something, blame this person, blame that person. This is what they're doing. Blame the white man. Now all of a sudden, oh, white man is dangerous now. This and that. Now, but before when they spoke as to white men, they they spoke to they spoke about white people in higher authority, like police or you know what I'm saying. Now it's everyone, even a motherfucker that lives right next to you barbecuing is a danger to you. How? How? We all share the same habitat. What's going on, Irving Morales? What's going on, brother? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and for me, I can't believe I'm saying this, but to me, gerrymandering districts is in a way Jim Crow because you're trying to prevent certain races from voting, like specifically like the people who get affected by gerrymandering specifically are poor people of the minority poor the people of minority persuasion, like who don't have that have multiple jobs and stuff like that. I would say Jim Crow gerrymandering in a sense is this generation's version of Jim Crow. Or am I going too far?
No, not at all. You're not going far. I mean, look where we are. Look where we are. Look where we are. Where we had Trump, right? Trying to fucking fight the media and fight everybody, and now, he was never racist. Oh, it's like a girl that you wanted and she was for you and she was right in front of you, but you missed out in life because everybody was convincing you that it was the other fucking chick that should have been your girl and she's the one ruling your life. Fucking right? That's what it was with Trump. We had this motherfucker in office that helped us. And most motherfuckers had two jobs. A lot of income was coming in. The world, the economy, as well as the world, was getting better. And look what happened now. Once this agenda came in, that came pinned with with Joe in the hole. And these are facts. Everybody, welcome Dragon. What's going on, Dragon?
What's up?
Yeah,
You're
I'm a
focused.
Democrat, and I hate this. Like I'm a moderate Democrat. I'm not in the middle. I'm liberal on some things, and I'm
Right.
conservative on some things. So, in a
Right.
sense, I was never a fan of Trump because of the stuff he was saying, like
Right.
all that he was attacking. He was attacking veterans. He was attacking what's his name? The guy who passed away, the politician who served in was a prisoner of war.
Colin Powell.
McCain?
Yeah, McCain. And he has the nerve to call McCain a loser when he had made an excuse to avoid the war, getting drafted and stuff
Well,
like that. So
well, I'm gonna. What's up, Dickie? Two Guns. I'm gonna agree to disagree, right, with you for a moment. Most of that stuff that you heard was propagandized. Okay, let me explain the McCain situation. The McCain situation is because McCain was a rhino. Basically, he was for the Democrat, but used the Republican mantle, right? Because it got him high. He kept throwing in that he was a prisoner of war, but at the same time, you're dicking your own people, which served the military. This is why the military loves Trump to this day, right? Then you've got the him turning down the Gold Star parents. But now what happened was that the Gold Star parents, okay, were the first ones to attack Trump, especially trying to tell him his constitutional rights, right? When all he said was that it is a very tragic loss and I hope they get better. And because he didn't placate to their stuff and because he's not bending the knee, this is what they do. So now when you take a look at these 13 to 14 Gold Star parents that lost their kids just recently over this bullshit, you got to understand who's worse now. It's not about whataboutisms. It's what's happening. Who's worse now? Who was better off for us? A lot of people have been programmed by the media. Everybody's been programmed to hate Trump. Oh, look what he did. Look at Puerto Rico now, how stupid. And that's my land. Look how stupid they look now. How stupid they feel that they were talking about Trump never sent $100 million for the hurricane relief. But what happened? It was their own people in their own government out there, their governor and their fucking mayor who took the money and spent it on Christmas gifts. And then all the food and all the relief that he sent was there to spoil and rot. This was all a psyop. And what happened? Everybody in Puerto Rico wanted the governor gone, and they wanted the mayor gone. There was a big thing that went on in Puerto Rico not too long ago where everybody went over to the city hall over there and ran him out of office, right? That's what's happening here. This is what I mean. Like, everybody's been programmed and taught because everybody watches TV. Everybody believes what the news brings us. Why? Because they're the closest source. Bullshit. Look what's happening with YouTube now. That YouTube followers that report the news have more of a following than your mainstream media, because mainstream media has been debunked already that they lie. They try to write your life down, or what you want to see, what you need to hear, what you need to wear, what you want to eat. Look how they're trying to tell us they want to cut meat down. They want to take soda off the table. They want to take ice cream off the table. This is not a socialist communist state here. And it's sad.
I have a question. Can you say the same thing about what happened with the right when Obama was in office, that they were attacking Obama?
Of course, because Obama promised the people. Obama didn't even lift his hand to help his own people. You know what he did? He just helped the gay community. And these are facts. Homeowners were had to sell their homes because they were under pressure because of a certain law that he wrote, right? Taxes went high. Bro, Obama was terrible. There were a lot of riots, and in case people don't understand, under Obama, his whole cabinet, we underwent a depression. We underwent a depression. We motherfuckers were losing jobs. I had to the point that, what magic wand is Trump going to wave? All of a sudden, Trump waved some type of magic wand that the American industry, steel industry, oil industry, we were our own natural resource, everything. And what did the elite do? They put this puppet there. They rigged our elections. All right. And if people don't believe that our elections were rigged, why don't they want to give this president a recount? They gave other Republican presidents recounts. They gave Democratic presidents recount. All of a sudden, he can't have a recount. And if you dare to ask a recount for him, and because of your vote as well, the FBI is coming knocking on your door. They're going to look at you as a homeland terrorist. What are they hiding? Think about this. A totalitarian state is what they want to put us in, my brother. You know what I mean? And this is why, you got to understand a lot of stuff that people put out there, especially CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, you know what I'm saying? CBS, they're all propagandized, bro. Even a third of fucking Fox, except for Hannity, except for Tucker Carlson, Greg Gutfeld, Dan Bongino, and you have many others that are out here. Bro, Fox was the first one to tell us about COVID. Fox told us that it came from Wuhan. Trump said it came from Wuhan. What happened? Now they're trying to hide that fact. It's crazy. This is the way it's called. It's called Operation Mockingbird. Look that up. Where they have the media implant things on you and say this to a point that it's repeated verbatim through every fucking news source, bro. If you go to CNN, they said, it's gonna be rainy weather today in politics because Trump said this and Trump said that. Then go to CBS, it's gonna be raining in politics because. Then go to ABC, it's gonna be thunderous because. Just because they said thunderous, it's not changed. They're saying things verbatim to program you, bro. Trust me, my brother.
Yeah, and when I look at this, honestly, this is why, honestly, like you said, I don't watch CNN that much. I don't want the only person I trusted a lot because he actually did the work. He recently passed away. He used to work for he was a huge news announcer for CNN before he passed away. I forgot the guy's name now. He's an older gentleman, not Larry King. It was another guy. Ed. Do you remember Ed Schultz?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he was the only one that actually, the news media. The news media right now is more about ratings than actual news. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they were until the elections. The news media exposed their hand by doing this. You know what I mean? And this is why I don't trust any of them. I look at things with what I was blessed with, which is my eyes and all my senses and common sense, bro. And I thank God, bro, that I'm that type of person that can filter shit out, and actually after it's all sooted out, I can know what's the real. And I'm glad that people rock with me and I stay connected with that are the same way, because we all need to educate some of these people. It may be a hard pill to swallow. What's up, Dracon? You got anything to say, my brother?
Yeah, your faith is.
That was hilarious, bro.
Yo, I know apparently Nordic Warrior made a video about how BBC News
Hold
sent
on,
people to.
Grissom. Hold on. I gotta laugh. He didn't come up here to troll me or diss me. That was a little inside joke we had in this morning stream where you have your racists, now you have your fathists. That was a good one, guy. Yo, Dracon, thank you. Go ahead,
Yeah, no
bro. I'm
problem.
sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Apparently, there's a video that I think it was Nordic Warrior made. I'm trying to find it everywhere, but I can't.
Yeah.
Or someone like that made a video of how BBC News sent people to neighborhoods that didn't pay for the bill, and they basically terrorized the neighborhoods. Can someone please in the comment section help me find that link? Because I think it got shadow banned.
Yeah, most likely did because that's the truth. That's the
Yeah, you
truth.
gotta ban the truth.
Yeah, always. You know that, brother. They're always gonna do that shit, bro. They're always gonna fucking try and withhold a lot of information, right? It's like if there was a zombie apocalypse, bro, the only way we will find out is if we was to actually see a motherfucker get bit like blocks away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They wouldn't tell us, oh, they tell us, oh, there's this virus around and it's turning people crazy. We would already know. Yeah, right. Why don't you just say it's making people fucking bite people and come at you at a cannibalistic way and we're all gonna get infected?
It's like the Weather Channel or anything about the news about the weather. You go outside. Oh, it's sunny day. Why is it
Yeah,
raining here?
yeah. Right? What the fuck? It's raining here and they talk about sun? No way. Like, yeah, man, they try to take us for a ride and you just gotta filter the bullshit out, man. That's basically it, man. So just wanna say, man, Tiafimo's not a racist. You know what I mean? Guys that use that street term, especially if you know that they come from the street, if they're gonna use it, they're gonna use it. There's nothing that me, you, or anyone else, guys, gals, there's nothing that we can try to cancel or correct on this person. This person is on their own. They know what the fuck they're saying. This is how they were raised. So they're gonna keep it like that, guys. And who are we to actually say anything to anyone unless we actually see, an example of racism in front of us, whether it's a racial epithet or an action of racism.
Yeah, and I'm gonna quote someone that you don't like, but it's like Fury once said when they were accusing him of being racist. He's like, "Bro, if
Who,
you're
Fury? I
racist,"
like, I like, I like Fury. I just don't. I don't agree with his politics, but I like
but
Fury.
but I'm gonna quote him. But he basically said, like, "Bro, if you're racist, that means you haven't gone out into the world much."
Right. Exactly, and he's right about that. Motherfuckers got to broaden their horizons. They got to step out, bro, out of that box. Because we're not living in the '70s. Thank the Lord, and you should be thanking. You should be thanking your grandparents who went through that, so you won't have to go through it. This is what's a shame. This is why I don't like this administration. I don't like anything because they're totally disrespecting. Those are the real guys that are disrespecting the military. Because if you take away all of these freedoms, that means that people, including my father, would have died over this country for nothing, had put in work, lost limbs for nothing. You can't do that just because you say so or because you don't like it. That's what we're undergoing today. That's what we're, you know what I'm saying? That's what we're undergoing. We're undergoing other people's fucking logic. Exactly, Paul. We're undergoing other people's logic and ideologies that have more power than us. So they think that they can actually keep us in a fucking straight line and live the way they want us to live.
I'm going to
This,
compound on what the guy said here, Paul Casey. Pollux is a false logic. I'm going to put it on Pollux currently. Yes, is a false logic. The
yep,
true politics is actually what the Constitution started as. We the people. We have the power, not them. It's not we the government. It's we the people.
right, right, right. Ultimately, we saw the exposure. We now know who is who, what is what. A lot of people don't know where they are, but we're at a time where propaganda and racism are weaponized hard, hard. And I think propaganda should be used when you're, let's just say, trying to promote something. It can be a positive propaganda. You know what I mean? Posters for a fight, going out there, yo, this guy's going to whoop his ass. That's allowed. But stuff like, yo, your president is racist. This. No, 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 no. I mean, everybody's acting like everyone because they're programmed that way. And it is us that are unplugged from the matrix that can actually see the bullshit before it's fucking made. You know what I mean? But anybody want to say anything before we sign out, Gerson?
No, I was just about to say I gotta go, but I had a great time talking with y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves. God bless you all. Peace.
You too, Gerson, no doubt, man. And my brother Draken, you have anything you want to say before you leave?
Other than my usual, just like everybody be human.
Yeah,
You ain't your color. That's not a race. Color
right.
is a color.
Right. Exactly, bro. Well, short and to the point and well said, bro. You know what I mean? Just want to remind you guys that tonight we will have at 10 p.m. Elbows of the 80s, the wrestling podcast that everybody loves. We bring comedy, we bring drama, we bring everything on that podcast. So everybody, please 10 p.m. definitely. And also, man, just remember, man, be real to each other, man, and try not to, you know what I mean, judge anybody. Try to find out about the person, bro. I'd rather shake a person's hand and let them speak and know where they come from instead of just like cutting them off and fucking, trying to tear down everything they're bringing up when they're trying to explain themselves, because conversation is not with one person. Conversation is between two people or more. You know what I'm saying? Going back and forth, sharing ideas, maybe a debate, but even across a debate table, you still have to let out what the other person is debating you about and what their side of the story. So that's just the way it goes, man. But I'm your boy. Thank you, Drakon, for joining, man. God bless you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm your boy Jay Cotto, man, and just understand that it's always gonna be this way. It's gonna be this way for a while. Maybe not for a long time, but it's gonna be this way for a while. And since it's going to be this way for a while, just like boxing, just like any other sport, what you guys need to do is basically adapt. And as you adapt and as you get better in life, it shows that you are basically the warrior that you are, and that the person you built yourself out to be, because nobody knows no one better than you and your makers. And just because someone comes from somewhere and they have a certain way of talking and there are certain words that even those that are accusing use, it still doesn't make you the ultimate judge. This has been The Insight. I'm Jay Cotto. Tonight, Elbows of the 80s, 10 p.m. Love each and every one of y'all. God bless. Stay vigilant. Peace, guys.
That is the most spectacular one-punch slap of
You may hear it. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
guys. There's nothing like boxing, and there are no athletes like fighters.